We are marking 1 year since Prince Andrew's Newsnight interview. Well, joining me now from Los Angeles is lawyer Lisa Bloom, who's representing 6 of Jeffrey Epstein's alleged victims. Lisa, thank you so much for talking to us again. I can't believe this is a year on and a year forward. How vital do you think it is that Prince Andrew actually, eventually, talks to the authorities?
Well, he said he would a year ago, and so far that promise has not been kept. And you have to wonder why he made that statement in an official statement that he would cooperate with authorities if requested. He has been requested, and as far as we know, he has not. So I represent 6 victims of Jeffrey Epstein, and they are crying out for justice, not only against Epstein, who is now deceased, but against anyone who was associated with him. And it's time for Prince Andrew to cooperate with authorities to give them any information that he has.
And they've obviously given him an open invite to so do. Do you think it's partly that he's got his head in the sand, or do you think perhaps it's because he's a royal that he feels in some way untouchable?
I think it's both of those things. And I think, frankly, he's hiding because he can. He can get away with it. Are our 2 countries going to have a diplomatic conflict over Prince Andrew? Probably not. And so as long as he just refuses to do what he said he would do, to talk to authorities, I suppose he's going to get away with that.
Well, there will be, at some point, and hopefully it's not going to be too traumatic for the people of the United States, there will be a change in power, there will be a new president. Do you think that will in any way change things as far as you're concerned and as far as your fight for justice goes?
Well, I certainly hope so. I have great faith in our vice president-elect, Kamala Harris, who is a former prosecutor, and she's tough as nails on behalf of victims of sexual assault. And so perhaps she will urge, and there's a picture of me with her during the campaign. I'm a great fan of hers. And so perhaps she will get tough and stand up for victims and insist that Prince Andrew answer questions. And not just answer questions, by the way, but turn over documents, calendars, diaries, information, and encourage all of those around him to also go in and testify as to what they know.
I wonder how the women that you represent are holding up, because this has been dragging on for a long, long time now, and it must take its toll on them.
It does, Lorraine, and they're in so much pain. It's hard to put words to it. There's a lot of anguish. Some of them are suicidal. They are all in psychotherapy. You know, Jeffrey Epstein's crimes were horrific, and especially when girls are sexually assaulted at a young age, it stays with them for life. It's now decades later for some of my clients, and they're still in tremendous pain. But I will give you this ray of hope that we are going through the victim compensation process with Jeffrey Epstein's estate. And I give the estate high marks for treating my clients respectfully. We have been prosecuting their claims, and they have been handled with a great deal of dignity. And I think some of the claims are going to be resolved in a way where at least they can get some compensation and get on with their lives.
And how are they feeling about the whole situation that we have with Ghislaine Maxwell? You know, we believe appearing in court at some point. Again, that's going to be very difficult for them, I would imagine.
Yes, you're so right. Every time these names pop up in the news, it's very disturbing to them. And one of my clients, who also has allegations against Ghislaine Maxwell, did not feel relieved at all to see that she was arrested. She just felt more anguish and more stress. But I think taking a step back, and as time passes, she realizes, of course, that this is a good thing, that Ms. Maxwell is being brought to justice, as anyone should be who's accused of assisting with these kinds of crimes.
Have you found since this happened, you know, we know about the Me Too movement and we know about Harvey Weinstein, but since this has happened and since all of this has come into the public domain, that there has been a sea change? And do you believe that it's not just going to be a flash in the pan, that this will actually change things fundamentally?
You know, I think there has been a significant change, but we still have such a long way to go. I represent hundreds of survivors of sexual abuse every year, and I'm up against the same myths that people say, why didn't they report it at the time? Why did they keep it a secret? Surely something else is what's causing their emotional distress, not this. And I have to prove the same points over and over again. I think consciousness is raising to some extent, but we still have a lot of education to do so people understand how pernicious these crimes are.
Exactly, especially for the next generation of women and men who are coming forward, who are growing up in a different world, because it is a different world. Even when you look back at that interview a year ago, how things have changed in so many ways, you know, with the virus and other things in so many ways. But things have really moved on very, very quickly.
I think you're right. And of course, the whole world has focused on the virus. And here in the US, we focused on our election. And so we've had a lot less talk about this. But nevertheless, the Ghislaine Maxwell arrest was big news here. And I think this story continues to be one that interests a lot of people. And the Jeffrey Epstein victims are continuing to speak out, either on their own or through attorneys like me, because they want their voices to be heard.
Well, Lisa, thank you, as always, for joining us. Very, very good to talk to you from LA. Thank you.
Oh, and you as well. Thank you so much.
And Prince Andrew, of course, and Ghislaine Maxwell, we have to say, deny any of the allegations that have been made. Don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Lorraine on the ITV Hub and all the best clips, compilations and playlists right here on our channel. Just subscribe now and you'll never miss an upload. Click here to watch another video similar to this one, or click here to head to our channel's homepage to explore all of our exciting videos.